Now, you might think you don't have to winterize your home in Florida, right? Because you live in Florida, right? You don't have to do the things you did up north. I guess that's probably still true. But I remember, Robin, once my neighbor came over and said, hey, you got Old Faithful going on over here because it froze. The water froze from the water pump. So we're going to learn a little bit about that in the studio. Robert Colen is here. He's one of the managers over at On Top of the World Communities. His guests are, is it Richard Hracs? Am I saying your name right, Richard?
That's correct.
And Butch guest to talk about the new Amazon Smart House over at On Top of the World. So good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good
Thank
to see
you for
all.
having us, as always.
That looks nice with those, what do you call those things, Robin? Those
Poinsettias.
plants? Poinsettias, yeah. You guys look like you're in like a garden or something, right?
There is. It's very Christmassy, that's for sure. It's beautiful in here.
So what is a smart house? What is that? What does that actually mean?
And I'll let Richard really go into it, but the smart house is, there's so many new technologies that are out there today that really revolutionize our home living. And everything from the Ring video doorbell. There's all kinds of different security cameras you can have around your house. You can have the Echo Spot, which is that where you say, "Hey, Alexa,"
right.
Alexa thing, and she can do so many different things that you can have them program your vacuum cleaner. You can get a certain kind of vacuum cleaner, so you can program that, and you can program your TV from it. You can watch security stuff that goes on with video cameras, so who comes to your door. So much that you can do from your house, that you can do using your cell phone, that you can be away from your house, you can monitor your house, and it's just quite revolutionary what it is. And Richard really can talk about what is new that's On Top of the World is going to be offering starting, we started this week, actually.
Yeah, on or after December 1st, on new build contracts, we're offering Amazon Smart Home packages. And that's also going to come with Amazon customer support. And like Robert said, it comes with the Echo Show, 2 Echo Spots, Fire TV, the Ring doorbell, which is a really nice feature. You can monitor your house. Yeah. It also comes with an Echo B3 Wi-Fi thermostat. So you could be on the other side of the world and control the thermostat in your home. Wow. It comes with the Lutron Smart Bridge Pro, which controls the smart dimmer switches in your home. It also controls if you have electronic shades. You can turn the shades up or down.
Wow, that's neat.
It comes with a LiftMaster garage door opener, and the feature that I like is the HydroWise irrigation system.
Why do you like that one?
That's nice. But we have residents that go away, during the summer, and they let their neighbors control their irrigation timers, and then when they come back, they get a high water bill, and they're wondering why. It's because the neighbor thought he was doing the right thing, and,
really?
And he doubled the watering times.
Does it somehow know that the ground is a little bit arid?
It does. It has several features. It has an irrigation, a moisture sensor built into it. You can control it from wherever you are. You could see how many gallons are going through the system. So you can basically be up in Michigan at your winter home, and
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was even possible. If I were going to ask you guys to come up with a sales pitch for this, I was thinking maybe it would be along the lines of security, like why would I want this? And then your answer would be because it'll be more secure. Is that the biggie? Is that the 80% reason why people get this?
It's secure, and it's more efficient. You can have these water sensors now. I mean, a lot of people go away for the summer, and they leave their water turned on, and they worry about the house flooding. Well, now you have these sensors that you could put under the sink, you could put behind the toilet, you could put next to the water heater that will actually tie into this and alert you. You could put window sensors on, so if somebody cracks a window open.
Yeah, well, there's that security thing right there, yeah.
And it's good for younger folks who worry about their parents, and they can tie into it, they can talk to them live on the Alexa system, and
there was a
talk to their parents.
Yeah,
on Alexis.
Well, it'll tie in with the TV, and you can.
Can you imagine that thing would go crazy if your mom's name was Alexa, right?
Yeah. well, the nice thing about it is with the Alexa, you could probably change the name if you wanted to.
Yeah, I've heard you can do that. Yeah.
Yes.
So I saw this story out of New Jersey, and these kids put some fireworks on somebody's porch. and the doorbell had a camera. So they got the kid who did the firework, the kid who was mischievous or whatever. Could have caused a fire.
I've got that on mine.
Do you really?
It's a doorbell. And yesterday I got to see every time like a cat walks by the front door.
Oh, really? Is it new? Yeah, is it new?
I just got it installed. So it's pretty neat.
So does it motion sensor? Does it only come on?
And you can adjust how far out it does the motion sensor. So I think mine's about 30 feet out from the door.
Wow.
Oh, really?
So I can see my garage doors if anything opens up, or even if the kids are out playing, I got to notice that they're out in the front yard, or I can, say there's motion detected in the front.
So we have a story from a long time ago, so I'm thinking technology has improved, but a long time ago at a different radio station, we had motion sensors in the corners, and they would send an alarm. And guess who called? It called Robin, and because she lived closest to the station. And so quite frequently she'd be called in the middle of the night. She'd bring her big dog, and what it would turn out was a roach would crawl in front of the motion sensor.
Yeah.
But one night she went there, and there was a broken window. Somebody had stolen a computer.
Yeah, they
right?
broke in.
And
That's scary.
But the alarm chased them away, so it worked, like it was supposed to work, except we lost the computer.
In this case, just for your basic home protection, you've got the video of somebody. You got their face. It's sent away to the cloud, so that you'll know who they are.
Yeah. We didn't have that back then.
And you can. And with the great thing about the Ring, and there's other systems that do it too. I don't want to just promote the Ring, but you get that doorbell ring where you get a motion sensor, and you're not at home. You can just respond to them through the phone. You say, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And then they think that you're there, and they'll run away, or they'll say, "Well, I'm here to drop off a package." Or you can see your packages that are left at your front door, and you can kind of make sure that they're protected as well. So that's really neat stuff. Mm-hmm. The garage door one is really good also because, like Richard was talking about, you can open and close your garage door from your cell phone. You can be on the other side of the world. So if you've got somebody coming in to do some work in your house or to fix something, or even to drop off a package or whatever it is, or your neighbor's going to come feed the cat, you can open and close your garage door, let them in the house, and you can even do that with locks at your front door. We're not offering the locks on the front door package, but you can do that. But with the garage door opening, I mean, for me, with garage doors, whenever I go away, I'm like, oh crap, did I close the garage door? And then I sit there and worry the next 2 or 3 days. This, you'll be able to know whether it's open or closed.
Did I turn off the stove? Can you learn that? Can you know that?
You can't. But there are different methods for that as well, that there are certain technologies you can get. And you can get indoor cameras if you wanted, if you really want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, one of the first things I think anybody thinks about with On Top of the World is it's a gated community. People can't even come in unless you pass the test or have the right password or whatever, right? So this is double. This is an extra sense of security, right?
Yes.
Is it a package? Is the Amazon package available for everybody or just the new homes?
It's just new build contracts on or after December 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But it's something that could be added by Amazon after, on homes that are already there.
Yeah, you can buy all these all these units individually. You can go on Amazon, you can go in any place and just buy each individual thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But this is a case where we're providing it as part of the package of the house. Just like we're doing solar on all the houses in our new Crescent Ridge community.
Right.
We're doing Amazon in all the neighborhoods.
And we do get the Amazon customer support with this.
Mm-hmm. And now how about the air conditioning units? Because now, since it's getting cold, people want to put the heat on, and how do you make sure that that's all taken care of?
Well, like with this smart thermostat, you can actually go on and switch over from cool to heat, and you can set your temperatures from your phone.
Yeah.
So let's use that question as a way to transition over to the winterizing part. Do we do anything similar to what people do up north, or I mean, is it really, really different? Because I don't remember any. What did we used to put up on the windows?
Storm windows.
Storm windows. We don't do that here, right?
No, we don't do that here, but you just want to make sure and check all the window and door openings. The seals are tight, so you don't get any infiltration of cold air.
Do we call you to do that? Because I wouldn't know how to do that. How do I do that?
Don't call us, please. But what Richard's talking about is you want to caulk around your windows and doors. But we were just talking about it back in the back room, that there's a lot of things that you don't do in Florida, especially in Ocala, that you would do up north in New York. To winterize your houses. Here, you don't have to worry so much about your irrigation system, because as long as the pipes are underground, that's enough of a freeze protection. But if you have a backflow preventer that comes out of the ground, if it gets below 25, 26 degrees, you do want to cover that. But Rich, why don't you talk about what they don't have to winterize?
Okay, you don't have to winterize the entire irrigation system. Like up north, they would blow it out with compressed air to get all that water out because it would freeze. Here, you don't do that. You leave the water in the system.
And that's it. That's all you have to.
That's it. You just cover those exposed pipes and
we're sort of Ocala is sort of on the line, isn't it? I mean, it gets a lot colder just a little farther north, right? Aren't we sort of on that line? We're almost.
it's close, yeah.
Yeah.
It's significantly colder here than it is just in Tampa in the winter. So,
do you guys have to worry about the plants that are in the yard, the landscaping?
It depends on. Some of them are cold hardy, but yeah, there's a lot of them and you should know what they are around your house, which survives and what doesn't. You'll want to cover those as well.
Do the people who live there typically depend on you guys to let them know? I mean,
we don't plant very many things that will die in the winter because we do provide some limited warranty on the plants for new houses. But what we do is we'll instruct, but it's mainly perennials that will die back. But then a lot of those plants do come back in the summer or the spring when they come. So that's but there are a lot of other things that we recommend that you do during the winter and during this time of year that to winterize your house, and I'll let Butch kind of talk about that.
Yeah, but I think Butch got the list, right?
I got the list.
What
yes,
do we do?
sir.
What do we do?
Basically, what you want to do is one of the biggest things is remove all those wasp nests that are just hanging around.
Why?
Because it's colder. They're not as active.
Oh, okay.
So it gives yourself a little bit of more security when you're taking those down.
Yeah,
So that you can get rid of them and move on with there. Make sure your AC filters are changed regularly.
Yeah, that's a good.
Most of the ones that we have out there are on a 30-day cycle that we're going through. So every 30 days they want to have them changed out. Always make sure that your coils are clean this time of year for your AC, getting it prepared for the next season. Make sure you get your system cleaned up, maintained.
Yeah. We do always recommend that as the winter comes along, you want to have an air conditioning company come out and do all the processes that's required for a winter preparation, and that does include, cleaning the blowing out the condensation line so that you have proper removal of water from your house. Or moisture, humidity. You clean the coils from the air conditioning system. There's a lot of different processes that they do, and that way it can heat your house properly. So if you turn your heat on for the first time, which you may do this weekend or you may have done last weekend, you smell a little bit of a burning.
Oh, I did.
It's some of the dust that's built up over the year on those heating coils. And it burns off and then it goes away. But those are kind of things that if you had your service done, they would hopefully take care of those kind of issues.
And just to chime in, it's another nice feature of the smart thermostat. It can actually remind you to change your filter.
Is that right?
Wow.
You got a thing on your phone that says filter time.
You just program it in, it'll change every 30 days, every 60 days, how often you want to do it.
I have a question about filters. I don't know if this is an unfair question, but is it the kind of thing that you get what you pay for?
Exactly.
Is it? Okay, so the more money you're spending, the better it's probably going to be.
To a certain point.
Yeah.
There are electronic filters that are permanentally built into the system that
Really?
you pull out once a year, and you can put it in your dishwasher, run it through.
Wow.
But it is more expensive. Generally, the slightly more expensive filters are a little bit better.
And those are the ones that look like little louvers?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the kind I have, so at least I'm doing that right.
Especially if you have allergies, you want to get a better filter.
Yeah, and you also want to make sure, one of the other things going back to it, clean your gutters and your downspouts.
Yeah.
It's the time of year to do it where it's not as hot out.
Yeah.
So at least get those things taken care of. And then also check your water meter. Make sure you don't have any leaks. A lot of the new water meters have leak indicators on them, so that you can look at those and make sure you don't have any irrigation leaks or
That's a
any
good thing
slow
to know.
leaks and stuff like that throughout your house.
The leaves here on the trees that lose leaves don't really finish losing them until about January, right? So that's got to be a big clogger of the gutters and that kind of thing too, right?
Absolutely. But it's a lot cooler, so you can get up there and get those taken care of.
Yeah, the nice thing is it'd be drier too, so it'd be easier to get those leaves out of the gutter.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a tool for that? You just old-fashioned get up there with your hand and
5 fingers.
just
Yeah, I use
pull them out.
those little hand shovels. I forgot what they're called, but as I stick them in there and help get them in and out. Yeah, or a little rake too as well.
I always use my hands because sometimes I can see a little plant growing out of my gutter in the back. So
You just got to be careful because there
gone.
will be a lot of ants up there too. So
Yeah.
you just
Oh, okay.
One of the things, Butch, on the list is the settlement cracks. I had a home in Bellevue, and it looked like a staircase.
Yes, sir.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I know that things could crawl through that, and so I did. I'm not a good handyman really, but I bought that stuff that you just push it in there, and it hardened. It didn't look pretty, but it probably kept things out.
Absolutely. That's what we go ahead and recommend, that you always caulk those cracks. That is a normal part of settling. So once you caulk them, let it dry. Just push it all in there, get it really nice and thick in there. Just rub your hands over the top of it, and then just go ahead and touch up your paint so that it just kind of blends right back in.
There's a way to do it pretty. I didn't do it pretty, right, Robert?
And the thing is, if you don't
Very artistic.
if you don't caulk those cracks, you can get moisture intrusion through there, and then it will wick through and get into your drywall, get into your baseboards, wherever it gets through. But that can be damaging to the entire inside your house, and it can even allow bugs, ants to get through it.
Oh,
if
yeah.
they're big enough. So.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not necessarily a sign, and they're probably not a sign of any kind of structural defect in the house. It's just a natural.
It's just what
setting.
happens, right?
Concrete.
Is
crack.
it a Florida thing, or does that happen everywhere?
Well, we do a lot more building with concrete block here than they do in the north. So a lot of everything, basically, even from Gainesville north, a lot of it is wood framed.
Oh, okay.
So they may have wood siding, and that won't get the cracks. When you see the stair stepping, that's usually the mortar joints that are cracking between the block.
Right, yeah.
So even that shows you it's not a
Okay.
structural
So
issue.
that's the reason. Because I don't remember that up north, and I thought, well, maybe it's because the ground settles more here, because you always hear about sinkholes and that sort of stuff. So.
Well, but it's also the heat and then the cold, so you got the contraction and expansion, and then
yeah,
you get the soils do the same thing. And they're basically so much of what we built on our sand, so that there's more water in there, it gets tighter and harder, and then as it dries out as the air dries out, the earth does shift, and even just those small tiny movements of the earth cause those blocks to move a little bit or shift, and that can cause, along with the heating and cooling, a contraction, cause it to crack.
Does that same thing affect the pipes, the underground pipes?
Well, it's PVC, so it's really
So it's flexible?
Yeah, it's PVC
Okay.
flexible.
they may move a little bit, but they're not going to crack.
But don't they have little things come in sometimes in the PVC? Don't they have like little animals or something, or deterioration that put little holes
Were
in
you
there?
talking about that with getting bug or snakes or something in your toilet a couple days ago?
I had a snake in my bathtub.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was it was like a paranormal conversation.
Okay.
Do you want me to go there?
No, actually,
No. Well,
you can get snakes and other kind of frogs and stuff like that in your toilets and your.
Yeah.
And
oh, I did.
those are coming through the
It
sewer
wasn't a
line.
ghost snake. It was.
Oh, the
yeah.
sewer line, not
So
through
you can
the...
Right.
not through the clean water, but they come through the sewer line because you could have a clean out cap on the outside of your house where a plumber might use it if you got a backup. Sometimes those can get knocked off or broken, and you'll get stuff. I've been to homeowners' houses, and he'll say, "Look inside my toilet." And usually there was a snake in there.
Oh.
So we went outside and the cap was off, so you can see how they get inside the house.
You know, so Rob and I were shopping in the mall. We work here, but we hardly ever go in there, to be honest. But it's Christmas, so we were looking for gifts. So one of the stores has like things you buy on TV or something like that, and they had this like $19 tool. You can look down the sink and you can find the lost diamond ring is what it shows on the cover of the box.
Got a little camera on
I don't know if it works or if it's. Do you guys have that kind of tool?
We have a little bit more expensive, but yeah, we do have stuff like
Probably
that.
works better
Yeah,
than
Rich gets the honor of running those big
sewer
long
cams.
Sewer cams.
Yeah.
And those can go,
gee.
50, 60 feet inside
Oh,
the
even-
house?
even
So we
longer,
go
yeah.
to the clean
Really?
out, and you
Gosh.
pipe it through, and you can see all kinds of fun stuff inside those
Wow, what's the weirdest thing you ever found?
pipes. A bow in the floor.
Yeah, a bow in the pipe.
A bow? Like
Yeah.
from a
somebody
bow and
stepped
arrow?
on the pipe and
It
flattened the pipe.
was like a depression in the pipe. So
Oh.
instead of being a straight
Okay.
flow from the toilet to the outside, it dipped.
I'm
So-
picturing somebody flushed a bow. Holy mackerel.
But I've seen it where the plumber has pulled out Coke cans and other kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
isn't
my.
that crazy? Do you know what?
Wow.
I worked at that assisted living facility on your property years ago, and I came in to work one day, and the maintenance man had a toilet in the backyard, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, what do you think is more expensive, false teeth or a toilet? Because I got to break one of them." It was false teeth stuck in the toilet.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't.
gee.
Would you really want the false teeth back?
Dun, dun.
I think the toilet was the one that got broken. Yeah.
So what is one of the homeowners' most fears when they're gone for a few months?
I would say water.
Yeah, busted pipes.
Busted pipe.
Oh,
Now, there is a way to mitigate that, and that is simply just shutting off the water to your house. I wouldn't shut it off at the meter, but shut it off right at the house where you can make sure that your irrigation continues to run if needed. But that way, if you shut it off at the house and make sure that you test to make sure that the water is off, because sometimes the ball valve is broken or the turn is broken. But if you shut it off to the house, you won't have a problem with any more leaks in the house. And I do that before I leave town, and I know a lot of residents, we recommend it to a lot of residents. What else do they fear? They fear people...
Humidity.
Yeah.
We recommend that they turn the AC no higher than 79 degrees when it's in the cool mode. This way,
So you do keep it on even though you're not there.
You do keep it on even though you're not there. You'll
Because of
pull out that
mold?
yeah, because of
That
mold.
makes sense,
Especially
sure.
if you have a water leak while you're away. At least that'll.
And when you say away, are these snowbirds who are really gone
Exactly.
for half a year or
Exactly.
something?
I would shut off your water if you're going away for more than a couple of days.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ah,
2 or
okay.
3
That
days.
would make
I
sense.
If
Yeah.
I go away for the weekend, I turn my water off.
That's right.
It's just easier that way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And do you gentlemen then go and police the properties that the people leave just to make sure that everything's okay and there isn't a problem?
We don't do that. No, we generally encourage you to become friends with your neighbor, and
Oh,
it's a way of building community instead of relying
That's
on
right.
people.
I have a Holocaust story I want to share with you. Just reminded me of those during those times, with horrible times. The Jewish people in Poland that were able to get away got away, and they were gone for like a couple years. And when they came back, it was in. I think it was the Dutch people that were doing this. They were taking care of the homes while these
that's
people
true.
were gone. And so they came back, like their fish tanks, all the fish were still alive, and the houses were cleaned, and they were expecting everything to be horrible. But it's just one of those good stories that came out of a horrible story. But they were gone. They had no smartphones, obviously, to keep up. They had no idea what was going on. They couldn't even call their former neighbors. And so, yeah.
That's kind of the difference between Holland versus Poland, where in Poland they may have come back to their house and somebody else was living there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I might have said Poland when I started, but
well,
yeah.
but Poland is where it happened as well. So,
But anyway, so
Gosh.
with this, I mean, and I guess the one thing you didn't mention was somebody breaking in, which would always be a fear from anybody, right?
and that's the neat thing about things like the Ring Video Doorbell or other security systems that you can get around your house. We probably could do a whole show on, especially Rich, who runs all of the security cameras out on top of the world. We could do a whole show on security systems and what do you want to be looking for, and Rich really has a lot of expertise in that.
Do you know what I've noticed? I've noticed that, like, of course, I do the news all the time, and you don't have to do the news to notice this, is that the security pictures that the police used to release, say, does anybody know this person? And you're just like, holy cow, you can't even see the person. You know, it's at a bad angle, and it's really a poor picture. But now, I mean, they've got cameras looking right at the guy, and they're really clear, and you can really see the person. So
The technology that they have out there is every 6 months it's just being updated, and it just gets better and better.
And I asked you before about the filters. You get what you pay for. Is it the same thing with these things, like the cameras and the doorbells and all that? The better
Sure.
is more likely going to be a little bit
you
more
look
money.
at how many pixels you're getting, and generally the more pixels, the megapixels, the better.
then
the
you
camera.
know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what 1080 is the standard now?
Yeah, that's pretty much the standard. But it all depends too what your how your Wi-Fi is set up.
I was going to ask you about
So
that.
if you have a good connection, you'll be able to stream better, and those pictures will be a lot better than if you have a slower, like, dial-up connection.
So the Wi-Fi stays turned on while you're away.
Exactly. Yes, it does.
Okay. Because I always heard that was a big electricity user. Is it? Is that
Yeah.
true?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's probably not as much as a cable box. Cable box is probably one of the
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
turn that off, but keep the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi on. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that is.
unless
what I
it
heard.
all goes through the cable box. It all depends on the system.
What about the refrigerator? Does that? I mean, the people who are snowbirds, do they just leave them?
Yeah, just leave those on.
Just leave it turned
You
on?
know, if you're not opening and closing, it doesn't have to work as hard
Yeah.
to keep the food cold. So it works. That's also something people fear, is that they're going to come back and their fridge died and all their ice cream and everything else melted.
Do they? Is there something that you need to? We can talk about regarding the car that's left in the garage, or maybe the what do you call that thing? The golf cart that seems to be plentiful.
I just wouldn't leave your golf cart plugged in the whole time. I would
Yeah.
be concerned
No.
about
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah,
But do you leave gasoline in the engine of a gas car? Yeah.
absolutely.
I think I heard that was the better way to do
Of
it.
course, if you're going away for 6 months, you may want. I typically recommend you disconnect the battery, but
Yeah.
because you may come back and find your battery dead.
Or just put a battery tender on it.
Yeah,
oh gosh.
Do you guys have a special place for the RVs?
we do.
We do.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay. And so do people sometimes leave their RV there when they go back to their northern home?
Sure, they leave it there for months at a time, right? I mean, they rent the space annually.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, we do have RV rentals.
And when you do have the new homes that are offered, do they get to choose how the home is built, with block or brick or wood, or how does that
Every
work?
house that we build is concrete block. So, and we don't do wood frame, but there's obviously wood trusses and wood interior framing, but the block is the structure of the house.
And you sometimes put brick on the outside for decorate?
Brick or stone, you do get to pick the elevation.
Oh, you do?
There are several different elevations for every model.
Oh,
The
okay.
stone is real stone. The brick is basically a concrete plaster, and it's shaped to look like brick, and then it's dyed and colored to look like brick.
Oh, I see.
Robert,
pretty amazing.
Richard, and Butch, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Happy Hanukkah, Merry
Thank you.
Christmas, Happy
Same to you,
Holidays.
and same to everybody out
in
there.
general.
Yeah.
Do you want to leave a website, phone number?
Well, you can go on topoftheworldcommunities.com or 352-854-0805.
All right. And take a tour. That's what we're going to do, right, Robin? We
Yes,
keep saying
we
we're going to
are.
do that.
Yes, we are.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Governor Scott will not become Senator Scott until January 8th. That's the day his successor, Ron DeSantis, is sworn in to be governor of Florida. The family of a 36-year-old Tampa woman who disappeared in Costa Rica says a body found on Monday is hers. Investigators say a newly released photo could help identify the victim of a 45-year-old murder mystery in Seminole County. Her body was discovered badly decomposed near the northeast part of